Hi guys, if you're joining me, you were unable to make it to the live lesson. So we are going to continue our math practice of first multiplication strategies, and then we're still working on word problems, some multi-step, some single step, but most of our problems are involving subtraction and addition with regrouping. So let's go ahead and let's start talking about this review. Last week, we discussed that we were going to look at that repeated addition. We were going to review that again as one of our strategies for multiplication. And we learned that we could do repeated addition with one digit by one digit multiplication problems. And then we even practiced one that had a two digit, so like 12, a two digit number by a one digit number. We realized we could use the strategy for either type of problem. Today we're going to talk about arrays. And arrays are made up of rows and columns. Now, a column goes up and down. So this is a column. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 columns. A row goes side to side. So in this first row, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you can tell all the rows have the same amount. That's really important with multiplication, is that we're making even amounts or groups. So I have 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows of, in each row, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's an array. You're creating that picture. Now, in this problem, 5 times 6, my product, my answer to the multiplication product, our problem, my product is 30. Let's try another one digit by one digit problem where we create an array. So, for example, let's use our 7 times table. I want to figure out what is 7 times, let's say 6. So in this problem, I'm going to do 7 rows. So remember, rows, this is how I always remembered it. I made the S go like that. So I was like, it's going back and forth, back and forth. Rows go across. So I'm going to need 7 rows. So let's start drawing some circles. Now the thing with arrays is, because you are having to draw these circles and these columns and rows, it can be a long process, the same way a repeated addition can be, depending on how big our numbers get. So that's why it is good that you learn your multiplication facts, be practicing on extra math, especially if you're on the multiplication skills for extra math. So let's do our 7 rows. Row 1, row 2, row 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now in each row, I'm going to need 6 circles. So this counts as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I do it again on the second row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then I do it again on the third row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, if I keep them nice and neat and orderly, then I can just draw circles underneath the one on top without having to count them. But if I don't have my circles and my rows and columns nice and neat, you're going to end up misdrawing, and you may not have the right amount. So here I've got my 7 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and in each row is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So then what I would have to do is I would have to count every single circle, and when I count them, I'm going to cross them out so that I don't miscount. So I'm going to make it easy. I already know that this has 6 in it. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. So the product, which is the answer, would be 42. Now you can see though how that might take me a while if I'm having to count all those circles. Let's try a double digit by a single digit number. So let's do something like, let's do 11 times 2. Okay, so the first thing that I want to think about again is I need to make some rows. And here it's telling me, 11 rows. Or I could do 2 rows of 11. I'm just going to start with the number, though, that I have here. So I'm going to do 11 rows. And remember, rows go across like this. So this is going to be a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now, can you think about how many, if I did 11 rows, needs to be in each row? If you said 2, then you are correct. So 1, 2, 1, 2. And I just keep putting 2 in each row. Then I have to count these. Now, the great thing about this is they're in groups of 2. Counting by 2s is an easy skill. So I can say 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Let me cross them out. 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22. So the product of 11 times 2 is 22. So just be thinking about today. If you want to maybe practice multiplication facts, can you use repeated addition, which we practiced last week? Or could you use arrays to help you solve those problems? That is it for our review piece. We are going to move on to some word problems. Now, we did problem number 1 last week together. This was posted on Dojo, so you might have done 2 and 3 on Dojo. And we are going to look today at problem number 4. And as I go through the problems, I'm going to be asking some important questions, such as like, what is the problem asking? Can I draw a picture to help me solve the problem? Can I record it as a number sentence, as an equation? Is there a way that I can test my answer? So let's look at the instructions. We want to solve the problem, and we want to show all trades. So when it says show all trades, that's that regrouping piece, and we've worked really hard on regrouping. So we're confident that we can regroup. I'm not going to worry today about the estimation piece, because since we're subtracting, we know a strategy that we can use to check our answers, and that's really what I want to work on. So let's look at problem 4. The population of a village is 9,000. Oops, and this actually, I want to change this. I want to do a bigger number today. So I'm actually going to add a 1. So we're going to make it 19,843 people. Last year, the population of the village was 8,068 people. By how many people did the population increase? Okay, here I'm lucky. They show me on this, I'm subtracting. So I don't even have to think about it. But I want to talk a little bit about what would have let me know to subtract. The problem itself wants to know, by how many people did the population increase? How much bigger did the population get from one year to the next? Well, they let me know at the first part of the problem that there was 19,843 people. And then last year, the population was 8,068 people. So I'm trying to figure out how many more people came to this town. How do we get from 8,068 to 19,843? It wouldn't make sense to add, because if I look at how they estimated, like this number, this 19,000 number is close to 20,000. This 8,068 is close to 8,000. If I were to have added these, I would have said the population increased by 28,000 people. That doesn't make sense. This number, 28,000, is bigger than 19,843. The population can increase by more people than actually are living there. So I have to subtract. So one of the things that we talked about when we subtract is our little phrase, bigger, bottom, borrow. Meaning, if when I subtract and I have bigger numbers on the bottom, I'm going to have to borrow or regroup. So here, let's look in the ones. The 8's bigger, it's on the bottom. In the 10s, the 6 is bigger, it's on the bottom. But then here in the hundreds, the 8 is on top. In the thousands, the 9 is bigger. And I know the 1 is by itself, so that's the bigger one. I have 2 bigger numbers on the bottom. I'm going to have to regroup. So I'm going to come over here and just rewrite this problem a little bit bigger for us so that we can see it. Okay. Now I want to go ahead and I want to start my subtraction. And I circled these numbers up top. I know I can't do 8 and take that away from 3. So I need to come over to the 10s and I need to regroup. So I'm going to take 1 10 away, and this will make this a 3. I'm giving, remember, all we talked about with regrouping is I'm taking that 10 rod, which is made up of 10 ones, and I'm breaking it up, and I'm giving 10 ones to this 3 ones. So 3 plus 10 more is 13. Now I can subtract 13 minus 8, and that is, I can count up, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That would be 5. Here I can't do 3 minus 6, so I have to come to the hundreds. Take 100, so that would be a 7. Give 10 more to that 3. That's now a 13. So 13 minus 6, I can count back. 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. That would be 7 if I counted back. Now 7 minus 0 is 7. 9 minus 8 is 1. 1 minus nothing is 1. So they're saying the population increased by 11,775 people. We know a strategy because for this, drawing a picture would have been kind of hard. We kind of just had to do the computation and solve it. But a question that I was going to ask is there a way to check our answer to make sure it's correct? We have learned with subtraction, I can take my difference, my answer, and add it to this bottom number. So let's do that right now. 19,843 is what my starting number was. And now I'm going to add these 2 digits here. 11,775 plus what I subtracted, 8,068. And it just has to match this starting number. Okay, so 8 plus 5 is 13. Carry the 1. I know 1 plus 6 is 7. 7 plus 7 is 14. Carry the 1. 7 plus 1 is 8. 8 plus 1 is 9. And I drop that 1 down. My answers match, which means this difference that we got here is correct. So that is all that I have for you to do. If you are watching the instructional video, I will put up a practice activity for you to do on Dojo if you would like. If you were live, you know you don't even have to watch this video. Try to make it back here with me Mondays at 9:30. Be practicing your extra math, and I will see you guys later.